Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this is your weekend edition where we're going to look at the weekly charts, not the daily, to get a feel for the bigger picture and what's going on in the metals. And this is Sunday, the 29th of June, 2025. We're about 6:22-23 in the evening. And as you can see, most of the metals are lower. Now, one of the things that's going on is that vacuum sound that I hear. And that vacuum sound is based on the fact that what we have is the stock market at new all-time highs, sucking money away from everything else for that fear of missing out, that, we might get the Fed to cut interest rates again soon. The U.S. is going to get the tariff deals done, and it's just going to keep kicking markets higher. Well, I wish it were that simple. If it were, who knows? But as you know, the president is frustrated. Deals have not come through other than that I know of, the United Kingdom. And he's now getting to the point where he said over the weekend, he's just going to send out letters to everybody now. This is what your tariffs are. Take it or leave it. Many will leave it. They'll come back and go, no, that's not fair. Here's what we would do to you. We don't want to do that. Let's talk. This thing can go on and on because this is how it works. To get tariff deals done. Very difficult. Did the UK go too soon? I don't know. As you know, he mentioned on Canada this that he did on Friday. He said, no more negotiations. We're done with you. Well, the reason is because Canada didn't just come up with a digital tax. That's been something that they've had on their books to fight the U.S. tariffs for a while, and they said it would be reciprocal to a certain point, and the president realizes that, and he's going, the heck with it. We don't need to do business with Canada. Okay, so this is typical Trump. Let's posture and get things done. Japan, you're going to pay 25% tariffs to ship any cars to the United States. You know there can be negotiations about it all, but you got to be aware of the rhetoric. The rhetoric in energy is bearish still, from more supply coming on the market, from the addition of the president telling Iran you can do business with China, from the addition of everything else going on through here with OPEC saying they want market share. And I do think they're going to pick up market share by increasing production again for the month of August. Grains are not open yet, but the weather, I don't see anything that was real damaging. We'll see if others think that. And it's pretty much where you're at. Even Bitcoin up about $1,400 tonight. So as we take a look at the gold market and see where it's at, you can see it's slipping back a little bit. It's down 0.3 to start the things off. Or is it? No, this is a monthly chart. This is for the month. You're not even down 1 percentage point. So while we think that all the air's out of the room, for the month, you're down 0.29%. I'm sorry, that's not a big number. When we take a look at the weekly chart right now, a bar chart, you can see you're actually up a fraction at this point in time. And when we take a look at how everything's coming here, you have a higher high, lower low pattern. The support in the market, I think, is going to be around the 32.17 level. That from here could be $80 lower. So, well, $70 lower in round terms. But just to give you an idea, that could be where the market wants to head to. What stopped the rally was a series of times of trying to get up to the Bollinger Band and running through it, and it couldn't do it. But what it did is it backed away and let that band get even higher, and then the market stopped rallying towards it. There was a set of what we call window envelopes that were up here, and that was the better resistance point, as it turns out, and the market left that. And when momentum stayed overbought and couldn't re-embed, it sort of said, well, this market needs to restructure. And that's what I think gold's doing. I think it's restructuring. I didn't say it's long-term bearish. Very frankly, I think if this tariff bill goes as the president's doing it, I personally, and I know many economists don't think so, they think tariffs are a one-time event. I'm not so sure. Everything I read in history doesn't point to that. You know, the tariff's not a one-time tariff. It's every single month that it's in place. That's a higher number. The gold-silver ratio, you can see how it has slipped back here, trading underneath the 18-day average, still favoring the silver market. The lower that number goes, the fewer ounces of silver you need to get an ounce of gold. In silver, the market is still what I call, is it embedding? Well, Let's take a look. On a weekly basis, let's go to how the markets finished on Friday. Both numbers were over 80. They weren't that way the week before. So you just have an overbought market here that's pulling back a little bit. The general trend is up. Supports at 33.56. That's $2 lower. I don't know that it's going that far, but this is not, to me, a zone where I'd be telling people in the futures to go in. In the copper, you've heard me say over and over about the squeeze play going in London. I've said it over and over. And this is a market that's trying to pick up. One of the ways to maybe backtrack that is the copper miners, because as copper prices are moving up, the miners get to work with that. Why is copper in short supply? Because to beat U.S. tariffs that potentially could be on copper, a lot was shipped here. And since the first of the year, so for the first half roughly, your supplies are down dramatically, 70 to 80% of deliverable in London. This was a breakout from all the sideways action. What you have to learn to do sometimes is look at the longer charts and are they going sideways. If they are, it's not always a breakout up. It can be a breakout to the downside. This market broke out to the upside and just kept running. And it's all happened in the past 6 weeks. So this is quite an interesting chart. It's very difficult for me. And in fact, I would never tell a client buy over the upper Bollinger Band. You can generally get back into it and have a better technical picture. And where would you put a stop? Don't get me wrong. I know it went higher. Where would you put a stop? A money stop or under a recent low? It's too much risk. In the dollar, I'm just super bearish. I haven't changed my opinion. I will when the chart action changes. But as you know, when I did my special report about a month ago, I said we had a fifth price count. It was not likely we'd go for it. And then with the tariff news, it's becoming more and more likely. And now I've switched my camp into the idea that I do think you're going to make a run for the 90 level. I realize the first stopping spot's the lower Bollinger Band, but momentum's locked in. And with the president doing what he's talking of doing on tariffs, where do you go with all that? So that's my news. So as you put, by the way, it's another way that you can look at what we have. And if you look, we break it down so that you can see volume and open interest on everything. Sometimes you want to take a look at that. And again, you can get this charting software that I'm doing with our free offers. You saw the news page. You saw how I can look at different things. People wonder, well, how do you know when to move from month to month? I look at volume and open interest. How do you easily see it? I have other services. They're not as easy as what we've done here. I helped design this. 60 years of doing this is a long time. And when you bring that into play, away you go. And I became a registered broker in 1969, a registered broker. So that's quite a ways back. Then I got involved in software. When I started doing this, nobody had software like this. And then over the years, it's become so much better. But all these different parts, if you're looking to educate yourself, looking to get free ideas on pivot points, the Arun indicator. One of the things I'd get if I were you is a sampling of our price counts that our clients get. So go to iraepstein.com, sign up. You'll see areas there. You click off what you want. It'll go into a cart, and at the bottom of the page, you give us your information, and we'll get everything out to you normally within 2 business days. I'm Ira. Have yourself a great evening. Watch me in the other videos tonight, and I'll see you in the morning when we do our morning flash update. Take care.